jump over the first curb and absolutely send it down the inside to take P4. Hello guys, so this was Dunlop Kart Stars round 6 at Sydney Illawarra Kart Club at Eastern Creek. So this was the tag restricted mid category, and as we roll out of the pits for qualifying, this was actually my fourth session in the rotax. I just moved from juniors, so I wasn't really expecting much, especially in a group of 38 people, and the day before I got 3 practice sessions and with really old tires, so I never really got to push. I had no idea where the pace would be, so in qualifying I wasn't really expecting much. I'll be really happy with like a top 15, but really happy with the top 10, and in the end we got P9, so I'll be quiet and let you guys watch my fastest lap. As we get ready for Heat 1, a 43.77 put us in P9, which was around 4 to 5 tenths behind P1, I think. And as you guys could see in that lap, there was lots of mistakes, so we know there's a lot of time to find. But as we roll up on this formation lap, we're all informed P9s were on the inside, which I was quite happy about. Maybe we could get a good run on the guys ahead of us. So as we go around the final corner, we wait for the light to go green and accelerate. And away we go. But as you can see, the guy in front of me got a terrible start and allowed the guy next to him just to slot in, which meant we got pushed down to P10. So that was really unfortunate. So we're just trying to stick behind these guys, try and pick up some easy positions. As you see, we try and go down the inside, but can't really hold to get some oversteer mid corner. So we're just trying to hold behind these guys, not DNF, get a decent result to put us in a good position for Heat 3 in the final. So as we go to the carousel, the guy ahead of me decides to absolutely send a Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb to the guy in P8, which allows us to get 2 easy positions, putting us to P8, one above where we started. So we're really happy. I'll be really happy just to stay where I was. But as the race went on, we picked up another position. As you can see, someone decided to take a bit of a trip to the grass, mow the lawns a bit. So we went up to P7. And we were slowly catching the cars ahead, but it wasn't enough. 6 laps, it's not a lot of laps. And as we come around the final corner, we take the checkered flag in P7, 2 higher than we started. So really happy about that. Some chaos caused us to gain some positions. So yeah, really happy about that race. Pace was good. Best lap was a 43.61, only 4 tenths behind the guy ahead, but still lots of work to do to try and get to that podium range. As you can see, a bit of a pile up in the pits. But we all got in there, so yeah, really happy, and see you guys in Heat 2. As we come around the formation lap, we slot into P9 for Heat 2 again, so same position, so hoping to make up some more positions like last time. I'll be really happy with P7 again, and away we go. We try and push this guy ahead more, but you can still see there's a massive gap in front of him, so the number 6 can just slot into that gap and just get an easy overtake. Number 62 and number 4 also go around the outside. Just because I'm so boxed in, and knowing this, I knew I had to get around kart number 17, so I decided to absolutely send it around the outside at turn 5 and managed to hold it, which was really surprising. And now we're slotted in P10 right behind kart number 4. And so for the rest of this race, it was pretty boring. We had a lot more pace than the guys ahead. We had the pace for top 5, I think, quite easily, consistently. So annoying that we got pushed down to P10, but just stuck behind this guy, and as you'll see, I try and make a couple moves on him, but he defends well, and I could be more aggressive, and that's on me too. As we come around onto the next lap, 6 laps still, we're right behind him, basically pushing him along, so we know we have the pace to get past him, but being quicker is one thing and overtaking is another. So as you can see, we're basically pushing around turn 5, get ready for the flip-flop section. We try and line up a really good exit, which we do. He tries to go down the inside there, so we manage to take advantage. We try and go down the inside, but we just run way too hot in, which allows him to get the switch back on us. So he just slots in, we slot back to P10, coming around the final straight. We try just to absolutely send it down here, but we're not aggressive enough. We're too early on the brakes, so he just easily goes around the outside. So lots of learning from Heat 2. And yeah, this is kind of where all the action is. We kind of just don't really gain on him from here. There's like 2 more laps left. And yeah, as we go around the final corner on the final lap, we take the checkered flag in P10. So not the best race, but I wasn't super upset with it. P10 out of 36 drivers, I should still be really happy, and that shouldn't affect our Heat 3 and final results too much. But hopefully in Heat 3 we can do a bit better. As we get ready to start for Heat 3, we are starting P8, so that is 1 position higher than we were in Heat 1 and Heat 2, so that's a big positive. But we are on the outside now, so we are much more susceptible to being overtaken. So as we go around the final corner, we wait for the lights to go out, and away we go, as you can see behind car number 6, and he gets a much better start than the guy who we used to be behind. But as you can see, being on the outside, we kind of get boxed in here, which allows 2 people just to come on my inside, and you never want to be around the outside in turn 3 and the inside for turn 4. It just doesn't really work. So we slot into P10, which is quite unfortunate, losing 2 positions, but we know it's not. There's 8 laps, so 2 more than before, so we know we can gain some more. So we don't want to be playing around. We want to get our head down and just try and overtake as many people as possible. Behind kart number 4 again, we know we're a lot quicker than him, so we're going to try and get past as quick as we can. So coming around to the next lap, going into turn 5, you can see there was a big group of cars right ahead of us, and as we come out of the flip-flop going up the hill, one of them actually spins. I try and avoid it. The guy ahead of me oversteers into me, which causes me to lose 4 positions going down to P12. So that's very unfortunate, and then the steering was messed up a bit. I could immediately feel it, so we just had to put our head down. We couldn't really think about the damage or about the contact, so we just had to get our head down and overtake these people. We know we're a lot quicker than them, so there's no point in sulking about what happened. We just have to keep looking forward. So a couple laps later, number 17 again, we just decide to send it down at turn 5. We know we can't really try and push them along or try and allow them to catch up to the car, so we know we have to get past them, so we do. And skipping along the lap a bit, you can see how much we can gain on them, so we're a lot quicker. And as we go around the final corner, you can see the P9 actually goes off a bit, which is a bit awkward for us, because where do we go, inside or outside? We get a much better exit than the guy ahead of us, but as I said before, trying to stick it around turn 3 and the inside of turn 4 just doesn't really work. So now we almost hit him because of how much quicker we are under braking especially. So we just slot in and we'll try and find an opportunity, because this could be really bad for us, or it could be really good. So P11 currently following really close to the guys ahead. Almost have us have oversteer just because of how much good of an exit we got, so we had to kind of avoid bashing into it at the top of the hill. As we go down the hill, we can see how much we gain here. Going on the final corner, the guy ahead decides to absolutely send it, which gives us an amazing run on kart number 36, but trying to go around the outside for 1 and 2 and 3, and then the inside for turn 4, never done a work. So that's really unfortunate. We could have gained a position there, but just awkward positioning. He had that racing line, so I had to go down the inside, but I couldn't hold it. So we're trying to get past him. We get a much better exit. We're basically pushing him up the entire hill. So now we're trying to pull out and try and overtake at the carousel. But like before, we just send it in a bit too hot. It allows him to get the switchback, and he keeps position, so we're still in P11. But as you can see, we have a bit of a moment at the top of the hill, and that puts us really in an awkward position for kart number 17 behind us, who overtakes us in the final corner, which is really unfortunate. Pushed down to P12, and we know that we're a lot quicker than him. I think about going down the inside, but he kind of just stays in the middle of the track, kind of awkward. So yeah, coming on to the final lap, going to the carousel, he decides to absolutely send it. He goes deep. We try and go up his inside, but he kind of just turns on us a bit. Not really anyone's fault, but it causes kart number 9 to be able to get through. So now we're down to P13, so a terrible race for us. And on top of that, after that contact, the steering was really messed up now. So just really unfortunate. Lost another position, P13, P8 to P13. It's not ideal. But looking back at it, after penalties, we actually got moved up to P10. So overall, it wasn't a terrible race for us, but it could have been a lot better, to say the least. And our best lap was a 43.8, just showing you how much better than we really did. Okay, so as we form up for the final, I am slotting in at P6, which is a mega result. Don't know how that happened. I was very surprised, because first heat we were P7, then P10, then P12, then P10 again, sorry. So, I was just really surprised that we managed to slot into P6, but I'm not complaining, extremely happy. We're behind kart number 6 again, so hoping to get a bit of a better start than the previous heats. So as we roll down to the final corner, we wait for the lights to go out, and away we go. You can see we catch right back up to kart number 6, so we're right on this bumper. We actually managed to slot into a gap again, so we're actually up into P5, so a mega start, better than I was expecting, so really happy about it. You can see P6, he kind of pushes kart number 56 off the track a bit, so that causes me to be running his bumper. But this guy here, he's been at the front the entire weekend, so I know he's quick, but I know that I have the pace to overtake him or keep up with him at least. So I'm going to try and work with him just to kind of catch up to the people ahead, because I know he's not much slower than me. So, but as you can see, I'm just really close to him, but not close enough to make a move, so we kind of just slot in behind him, push him along. You can see, a bit of a bad exit. I caught up to him so much in that corner that caused me to get a terrible exit. Now that leaves me vulnerable to kart number 7 behind, who gets past in to turn 1. I thought that in the moment, I thought that kart number 7 was also quite quick, so I thought I'd work with him to try and make up more positions to try and benefit me. But as you can see, he goes way too hard into the flip-flop section, which allows me just to get a really, really easy overtake up the hill. So nothing too serious, back into P5. But now you can see that, and kart number 7 just sends it down at the carousel, but goes too deep, and I just get the easy switchback on him. But as you can see, all this battling has caused P3 and 4 just to gain a huge lead of around 1.5 seconds. As you can see, going up the hill on the next lap, kart number 7, again, he absolutely sends it into the carousel. And again, I just get the easy switchback, and that loses us even more time. So we're around now 2 seconds behind P3 and 4. But overall, I'll be really happy with the P5 result, but I know I have the pace for a podium, so a bit unfortunate that we lost this much time. But as you can see, our pace throughout the race was just so much quicker than the two guys ahead of us, that around 6 to 8 laps later, you can see we're out on the bumper of kart number 6, and going into turn 1, we get a huge run on him, but I decided not to send it because it's a bit risky down at turn 1. But we managed to stay with him. We get a really good exit out of turn 2, and now we just decide to send it down to turn 5, but he manages to hold it well and hold the position. This is going to cause me to get a much better run up the hill, as you can see. And as we head down to the carousel, we look for a move, but he brakes really late, but that causes him to have kind of a moment, go pretty deep, so we get a run on him, but it's not enough. As we start the corner before heading down the hill, you can see we're basically pushing him along, and we jump over the first curb and absolutely send it down the inside to take P4 in the final. An absolute dive bomb of a move in the final corner, probably the best move I've ever done in my racing career, so very happy with that. And now we're chasing P3, but because of all this battling, P3 has managed to create a bit of a gap, which has just caused our chances of getting onto that podium a bit more slim. But as we head up the hill, you might notice something here. As we start to head around that right bend, you can see here that red light signifies that there's a red flag. And so now we pull into the main straight and have to stop on track, as there was as I'm pretty sure a kart flipped into turn 1, but they're all okay, both drivers are alright, so good to hear that. Now, as we head out to start our formation lap, you might see that we're actually behind kart number 6, and that is because the lap before the red flag, the final fully completed lap before the red flag, I was still behind kart number 6, so even though I had an absolute monster move, it didn't mean anything, which is really unfortunate. And as we head across the line to do a restart, there's only 5 laps of racing, I managed to keep it tidy, don't get overtaken, but don't overtake either. But as you can see, car number 6 is kind of all over the place, and we get a massive run. He defends to the inside, and I decide to absolutely send it around the outside. I'm using all the track onto the curb, basically on the grass, but we managed to make it stick. An absolute insane move, because I knew that if I wanted a podium, I would have to get past car number 6 insanely fast, so decided not to play around. But as you can see in the carousel, I decided to leave the door wide open, and that causes car number 6 to get back at me, which is really unfortunate. And I didn't even try and go for the switchback, which I should have gone for, because going around the outside the carousel, you're never going to hold it. And going around this final corner, you can see I'm basically pushing him along again, but I'm not close enough. And as we go into this main straight, you can see as we turn in, I give him a bit of a tap, like anyone does, just to kind of push them along. But unfortunately, it unloaded his car, which meant that he went off the track, which is really unfortunate. I feel really bad, but there's nothing really I can do in that situation, because I have to push him. I'm not going to try and go around the outside. So that's really unfortunate. But we crossed the line in P4, as you can see, checkered flag. A good result, P4 in the final. But because of that little incident, I got given a 10-second time penalty by the stewards at the track as we crossed the line. You can see everyone congratulating each other. But yeah, quite an unfortunate result. We ended up in P17, but you know, the pace was there, and I knew that I could have been on the podium, and I deserved to be there just as much as anyone else. So, but an unfortunate penalty just meant that we got pushed down to a place that I don't think really reflected our pace. And in the final, we were overall second fastest on average, I think, and our fastest lap was only 1/10 off P1. So you know, the pace was there, but yeah, unfortunate about that penalty. But thank you for watching, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and see you all in the next one.